Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. At the start of this year I started a plan on the Bible app called Walk Through the Bible, which takes you through the whole Bible in 365 days, a whole year, which is something I've never done before. And one of the reasons I chose this year to do it, other than motivation to have consistent daily quiet times, is I'd mentioned to Kenny that I'd never read the book of Leviticus before. And he gave me such a hard time for it, especially since I'm working for a church and got a theology degree that I'd never read Leviticus. And another reason is I have a friend down south who said that he did it once, the walk through the Bible, because he felt that if God has written this book for us and we're trying to live our lives by following him, we should probably make sure that we read all of what he has to say. So a mixture of all these things convinced me to start this Bible plan. In the first month you read through the Gospel of Matthew and some Psalms and Proverbs and the entire book of Genesis. And I love the stories in the book of Genesis, particularly once we get to Isaac and Esau and Jacob and his kids, especially Joseph. And that's because Joseph's story is a real favourite of mine. And one of the things that stuck out to me this month was how faithful Joseph was in everything he did. Regardless of whether he was in prison or in charge of Egypt, it says that God blessed him in everything he did. And I thought that was amazing, how God used Joseph in all of his circumstances and blessed him and others through him. Now obviously Joseph knew from a young age that there was a greater plan for his life. God had given him a dream, a very famous dream, of his brothers bowing down to him. And we see that in the later chapters how that dream became a reality and the influence Joseph had over the whole world. But even before that, when he was wrongfully put in prison, he stayed faithful and God blessed him and others through him. And that got me thinking about my situation and the world's current situation, or this country's situation in lockdown. A few weeks ago when I was reading this story, there wasn't much for me to do. We'd kind of said that we wanted to do as little as possible, but when there's nothing else to do. So one of the weeks I wasn't preaching and wasn't able to get outside, so all I did was stuff around the house, walked the dog and made dinner for the family. But the story of Joseph really hit me, because I realised that even though this might not be what I want to be doing, or ultimately what God has for my life, God can still use me in these circumstances. And he can bless me and he can bless others through me. So that's the attitude that I'm carrying from now on. Whether I'm active or housebound in lockdown, to remember to stay faithful and pray that God blesses me in everything I do and blesses others through me, even if it's just my family for just now. So I hope that meets you all well, and I hope to see you all really soon. And I'll be praying that God blesses you all through this season and blesses others through our church. Speak soon.